At Tracy's Fine Jewelry, we don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
All roads lead to adventures this fall in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Discover our Kia SUV family and get ready to forge a brand new path. Bill Bird Kia is now offering 2.49% APR for up to 60 months on the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento. You'll get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. It's the best family SUV with third-row seating space for the entire family to unwind. Bill Bird Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us anytime at 2435 East 15th Street or BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2024 Kia Sorento with $1,775 per 1,000 finance at 60 months. Quality's limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers not available on balloon financing. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/30/24.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
I'll trust water bottles and a flashlight to save the day, but I'll be proved wrong.
With a tornado approaching, I'll realize that I like a wheelchair-accessible shelter.
When the floodwaters rise, I'll be up in the attic with 20 cans of beans. It's a recipe for disaster.
let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
And that's out of the ballpark.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Pushed away and intercepted. Ball game. The fairy tale continues.
The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
And the breakthrough for the U.S.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hopefully you're all doing well this evening in Panama City, Florida. I am David Hayes, along with my good friend, and actually kind of very thankful that he came in today, Tyler Bishop, because I just woke up at 3:45. I took a little nap from 2:30 to about 3:45. You know, the rain's pounding over here on this aluminum roof, and I'm like, oh, I've got a radio show to do. And with that being said, normally we have Kyle Wright with us on Thursday evenings. We have Leanne with us on Thursday evenings. I missed all of her texts. So I probably should have been like, hey, I need you, honestly. But the thing is, everyone's backed out. Over the last 2 days, we did have Morgan, we had K-Man Rick, and I'm like, dude, I don't blame you guys.
I mean,
if you want to run away from rain, I get it. That makes a ton of sense to me. I'm not going to lie to you. It makes a ton of sense to me. Being why? Why does it make a ton of sense to me? Because Hurricane Michael is not even 6 whole years, right?
Yeah. Right at
October
just under.
10th,
yeah, just under.
Makes 6 years. We're going to have an anniversary, but also, here we are, and we're looking at Helene. In Category 3, dog, I don't even think this thing ain't even made landfall yet, has it?
It's not supposed to make landfall till 6, 7, 8 o'clock, somewhere around then tonight.
Call in with your thoughts.
We're here we're here for 2 hours.
No, don't you do that. No, sir. That's a no. But I will say that there is danger of catastrophic and unsurvivable storm surge. So if you are in that area, which, yes, 104.3, most of beautiful Panama City, and it's been rainy all day.
Yeah.
It's been rainy all day. But now here we are. And Gulf and Franklin County, which majority of you guys can hear us on 101.9 in that area. Hey, stay safe.
Yeah.
I remember when Hurricane Michael hit, man. And it was one of those things because, all right, we lived right off Beach Drive. All right, my grandparents had a house on 1310 West 10th Street, right? I can dox that because We don't live there no more. And they don't live there neither.
Somebody
and
lives
if you
there
do,
now.
yeah, someone does, but it is what it is, right? That's your problem now. We live there, and so we're right off of Beach Drive. Like, I would say if you were to take a measuring stick from Beach Drive to the actual bay, 275 yards. All right? That's
nice round number.
Yeah, I've done my research, and this is not factual. So at 2:00 in the morning, they have that. Oh, look, that thing is about to be a lot more serious at 2:00 in the morning. This is why I tell you when you sit there and you're having all these storm talkings and whatnot. It's like the more that a storm is talked about, it's like the likelihood of actually smashing you is probably less. But again, neither here nor there. We're not talking actual factual. I'm just talking casual from David Hayes. With that being said, 2:00 in the morning, they give us an update. Golly, this thing is about to smash you in your mouth, boy. So what does my ex-fiance at the point in time? Well, no, she was my fiance at the time, but now ex-fiance. She's like, I don't feel comfortable staying here. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll go right up the road to Frankfurt Avenue. We're going to move about 12,945 feet forward. And, wow, dude. Just, I remember Hurricane Michael so well because it was such a monumental moment, especially at that point in time. I'm not working here at ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm not a part of the public duty, if you will. I'm just doing what I got to do to survive. And my goodness gracious, man, that is something that, and that's why I will always say, I get it. I do get it. If you're gonna leave or whatever, one thing I'll say, Jay, I hope you're listening. If you're not listening, like, don't be 10 minutes down the road from us and don't come do a radio show. Like, that's crazy, dog. That is crazy. But outside of that, Tyler Bishop, your thoughts on what you've heard from today?
No, I mean, obviously I think we got a little bit lucky. The kind of projection started going slightly more east than even they were projecting later last night. So, so hopefully luckily for us, it's kind of continued eastwardly because obviously being on the west side, best side, as they say. But yeah, I remember being here for Michael.
Don't get me crip walking in this thing now.
remember being here for Michael, and yeah, it was weird. Like you went to bed that night, like, okay, yeah, it's going to be a strong storm, but nothing too crazy. And then, like you said, overnight it got a lot stronger, a lot quicker, and man, it was a wild ride. Like, I was on the beach, so we didn't get hit quite as hard as obviously a lot of people over, Tyndall, Callaway, Mexico Beach and everything. But, man, I remember watching the wind, and I remember watching the wind pick up a car in the parking lot. Like, it hit the bumper of a car and moved an SUV multiple feet to one side into another car. Like, that's how strong that wind was blowing. And it's just, man, like, Mother Nature, man, it's crazy. It can do all sorts of stuff.
And Mother Nature is one of those things, like, you don't have time to play games with Mother Nature. You really don't have that. For those of you who are staying, hey, we're gonna need you here. If things do go haywire, I will be honest with you that I'm a person that we'll see what happens.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. And with that being said, it's like, obviously I'm going to write it out because
at this point it's kind of, yeah.
And secondarily, it's just, I remember, this is so minute, but it's so big to me. Take a hit of the vape real quick and let you guys know that's what I'm doing, because we're in a little bit of different times this afternoon, and you can criticize me at 850-215-6290. You're riding with Dave and Tyler Bishop. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. With that being said, I remember having Straight Talk, AT&T bars wise, and I remember when I went over to my neighbor's house and they couldn't call their son and let him know what was going on, and I was able to let them use my phone. And this ended up happening a lot more. But I remember that first time when I was able to let them use my phone, and the tear, not the tears, the tear that came out of my best friend's mom to an extent. I would say that growing up, are we best friends to this day? No, we're not. But are we still stay in contact? You know what I mean? When she started crying, I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, like this is something I will never understand. Yeah. I don't think until I'm a parent. And apparently, it's going to be a long time until I'm a parent. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, my sister wasn't here for Hurricane Michael. She was up in Columbus, Georgia. I think my brother was in Auburn at the time as well. So, like, we were in contact with them until all of a sudden you weren't. And I remember talking to them for the first time after the fact. And, it was just one of those, like, it was scary for them because now all they're seeing is the stuff on the news. You know, they're not getting any local updates really because of all the signals and everything going down. But thoughts and prayers to everybody in the path of the storm. Hope everybody's safe and made the best decision for them, whatever that decision was.
Michigan State Bruce, we've spent 10 minutes talking about nothing that has to do with sports. And I think for Tyler Bishop and David Hayes, which, ladies and gentlemen, Tyler Bishop is a Tuesday tangenter. And now we have him here on a Thursday. Very thankful for that because I did not know what was going to happen at 3:45 when I'm sitting here like, oh, yeah, I've got a radio show to do. Luckily, I hit you up earlier in the day. My goodness gracious, like sitting here just talking with you guys would have not been good.
You could have done like a whole monologue thing, you know, maybe call in Thursday. My
monologue would have lasted 5 minutes. I'd be like, listen here, boys. Y'all better call me. Call me if you are all right. 850. Where's my money, JG Wentworth? To tell you what. With that being said, Michigan State Bruce says if you evacuated, take your Salt Life sticker off your back window. Use a hairdryer. It will peel right off. Michigan State Bruce, those words don't. I don't resonate with those ones.
No.
Do I like it? Absolutely. And not because people don't stay. I just like when people call people out. Like, that is phenomenal to me. That means you got the cojones. Hopefully, the FCC, not the FWC, they ain't coming after me for nothing. But anyways, Thursday night football tonight, right?
Yep, Cowboys and the Giants.
And also, Army and somebody?
Army and Temple.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you this. I think he's director of football operations. If not, he's up there. He's up there. He's moving his way up. Is that the Jeffersons?
Yeah.
Moving on up. Doom, 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 doom. With that being said, Austin Siegel, a guy who used to be on the show with us here, he preceded my time. He is the director of football operations at Temple. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it gives you some rooting interest in a game that otherwise wouldn't really, mark a whole lot of intrigue for this area. Temple. I mean, obviously, Army being in the Service Academy, people are going to have like, okay, yeah, let's go Army. But it's kind of neat having kind of a personal attachment to a team like Temple that, again, not a huge following. I can't imagine over here in the Gulf Coast.
Can y'all do me a favor today? Can you do me a favor? If you're listening to this show right now, can you call in to 850-215-6290 and give us a holler? Let us know what it is that you're seeing underneath the brim of your hat. Yes, very impressive, Tyler. It is. And this is ESPN Northwest Florida. You're home for the Mosley Dolphins, for the Auburn Tigers, and for the Atlanta Braves. And guess what? Atlanta Braves coming your way. Why? Helene. Oh, no Mosley Dolphins coming your way Thursday. Why? We have moved that game to Monday evening.
Okay, Monday night. A little Monday night football for the high school. I like it. Are they going to have
Dolphins on Monday Night Football.
Are they going to have to push back game the next week at that point?
No.
Yeah. Oh, damn. That's going to be a short week.
It's a beautiful thing. No.
No?
And this is, I have an issue with it, but I'm nobody, so it doesn't matter. Both teams have open weeks here.
Oh, okay.
Why not just move
it why not just move it the whole, yeah.
Okay, now we're moving right along, all right, because they were saying there's a chance of the game being on Saturday. I'm like, if you better have that game over by 6:30. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Randy, you don't live that far from Milton. Actually, I think you live right smack dab in the middle of it. With that being said, you could forecast that game if you want to. Broadcast that game. Not me. No. No. And why is that? Because Georgia, Alabama. Now, you have had the pleasure, Georgia, Alabama-wise, of seeing what Georgia brings to the table, right? We have all had the pleasure of seeing what Bama brings to the table 3-4 weeks into the season, right? But now here we are, and a true test comes. And this is where, if you've been listening to me for any amount of years, this is where you can tell how realistic I bring it with my takes. I watch. If I don't watch you, I don't say nothing about you. Seriously. I watch so much football that it would probably make your wife sick. With that being said, this game's going to be interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously this is the first big game for both teams. Bama's playing Western Kentucky, Wisconsin, and South Florida so far. South Florida made that game real fun in Bryant-Denny for 3.5, three and some change quarters. But, Georgia looked less than impressive their last outing against Kentucky. Tennessee Tech, who really cares about that game, and had a really dominant second half against Clemson after kind of starting off kind of slow in that game, 6-0 at the half. So, this is probably one of the top 5 games of the year before the season. And I'm sure we'll kind of look back at this game as still one of the top 5 matches by the time we get all said and done. Kind of a playoff game. And, this is the kind of game that, Ohio State, Michigan's been the last few years. You're talking undefeated, true national title contenders. And, it's not a game we get in the regular season a whole lot. It's the first time in 3 or 4 years. Only the second time, I think, since Kirby's been there, we've played Bama in the regular season. And, just part of the scheduling quirks of the divisions. But going away, this was a game we'll see more frequently in the regular season along with some of the other ones. So.
Can you do me a favor and say the last thing that happened? It might not have been the last thing because obviously I was asking you to come in today. What did you say as a Georgia fan into the group text of David Hayes, Max Delyden, and of course the prognosticator of college football, Tyler Bishop?
Oh God! Now I got to go back and look.
All right. Well, while we're doing that, we're gonna let you bring that up. But we do have Coach Brian Haddad, and he is if you that slash thing that people put in between their names and whatnot. Well, this guy's a Mississippi State / Alabama fan, and he's also one of the great contributors to ESPN Northwest Florida. Coach Brian Haddad, what the heck's going on, my friend?
Well, I wanted to give you, an on-the-ground report on Hurricane Helene from my perspective. So, in Denver, Colorado, it's not doing much.
Holy cow, I was worried about that. I was like, how are the people in Denver, Colorado going to be affected by this?
Well, that's why they left for the UCF game early this week.
Facts.
I will tell you, I'm keeping an eye on it for sure. I will tell you the airport was very crowded yesterday morning leaving Panama City, but they did a good job getting everybody through. But yeah, it's... the last thing I just saw, it's jogging even more east, which the further east it goes, that helps Tallahassee, because I've been pretty worried about those people over there. So hopefully it keeps going like that and hits as least populated area as possible.
And I love that, the least populated area as possible. But I will always say this, and someone, again, who survived Michael, just like you, Coach Brian Haddad, just like you, Tyler Bishop, it's so hard for me to wish this on someone else.
Yeah. You don't want it to hit somewhere else, but you don't want it to hit you either. It's kind of a weird line you kind of have to toe there.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. In a weird way, I felt kind of bad. I had to leave. I wasn't running from the storm. I didn't pull a Coach Hale, but...
I believe, I'm not 100% sure.
There this morning.
Yes! My goodness, I was busy, but...
but in a weird way, Michael was miserable to stay through. It was. And I don't know if I'll stay through a 5 again, but there was something to be said about being there on the ground and being able to deal with things right after it happened, to go out and check on people, do welfare checks. I heard you talking about being able to give someone a phone. I also was AT&T, so I had service. So there, in a way, I was kind of...
We're the true heroes.
I thought if it was coming our way, I kind of would have liked to have been there in a weird way. But, that's not the way it worked out. But it's what it is,
850-215-6290. We've got Coach Brian Haddad on the line at Domino's. Says, hurry and soon get more pizza, same price. And I will say this, the reason why I'm giving them a shout out is because they hooked us up over there at the ESPN Northwest Florida Fantasy Football Draft, and that was held where, Brian Haddad?
Yeah, it was at PCB Hobby.
Was that not one of the, as someone who plays fantasy football together in multiple leagues, was that not a very cool experience? And
The National Weather Service in Tallahassee has issued a flash flood warning for southeastern Coffee County in southeastern Alabama, southern Dale County in southeastern Alabama, eastern Geneva County in southeastern Alabama, Houston County in southeastern Alabama, Franklin County in Big Bend, Florida, western Gadsden County in Big Bend, Florida, southwestern Leon County in Big Bend, Florida, Liberty County in Big Bend, Florida, western Wakulla County in Big Bend, Florida, Bay County in Florida, Calhoun County in Florida, Gulf County in Florida, Central Holmes County in Florida, Jackson County in Florida, southeastern Walton County in Florida, Washington County in Florida, southwestern Decatur County in southwestern Georgia, Seminole County in southwestern Georgia, until 1:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or 12:15 a.m. Central Daylight Time Friday. At 5:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, or 4:17 p.m. Central Daylight Time, Doppler radar indicated heavy rain across the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Hazard: flash flooding caused by heavy rain. Source: radar. Impact: flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas. Some locations that will experience flash flooding include Panama City, Lynn Haven, Panama City Beach, Callaway, Daleville, Carnarvon, Cottonwood, Vernon, Luntstown, Mariana, Chipley, Bonnefay, Graceville, Port St. Joe, Apalachicola, East Point, Dothan, St. George Island, Enterprise, and Springfield. For continued heavy rainfall ahead of Hurricane Helene and additional rain events expected to overspread the warned area as Helene nears the Florida Big Bend coast tonight. Turn around, don't drown.
Around 21 miles per hour with a high of 82. About the same at 85 Saturday, and we'll have mostly sunshine. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Life can take us so many places. And at Panama City Toyota, we're here to make sure every drive is worth every minute.
Maybe you want a fun, fuel-efficient car for everyday driving. Or you need a dependable vehicle that really gets the job done. Sometimes it's all about answering the call of the wild. And when you're ready to shop, reserve your vehicle online and choose your options. Or we'll help you in person, even if you started the process at home.
Whatever works for you, always works for us.
Are you looking for a place to take a leak? Do you have a truck, tractor, or other hydraulic equipment leaking or not performing as it should? At Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, we can get you back to work. Do you have a busted or leaking hose? We can typically replace them while you wait. Hydraulic cylinder or pump needing repair? In many cases, we can have it back to you the next day. Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, 6840 Highway 77 in Southport, just south of Tractor Supply. The best place in town to take a leak.
The mission?
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Save the panhandle from boring cookie-cutter radio. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
The state will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is ESPN in Northwest Florida. Your home for the Afternoon Underdogs, the Coach James Hill Show, and of course the Inside Drive and storm coverage brought to you by who? Brian Haddad over there in Denver, Colorado. Coach Haddad, again, you are over there in Denver, Colorado, and we know that you've got a bird's eye view on this thing. But Alabama, Georgia is something, a game that I haven't been able to kind of put my finger on, and honestly don't want to, don't care. I just want to watch this football game. Your thoughts on it?
There's a couple of things I'm interested in. I haven't checked injury reports. I'm very curious to see how healthy Georgia's offensive line is, because they were a little banged up before the break. The other thing that concerns me a little bit as an Alabama fan is the defense's mentality of bend, don't break works perfectly well against mid-tier talent, maybe mid-level SEC talent. I don't think you can do a bend, don't break against Georgia because they're too good inside the red zone. So this bend, don't break, you're going to get broken. So I'm a little concerned about that. That being said, Alabama, I think, is going to be able to put points on the board. I think Georgia is going to be able to put points on the board. It's probably going to be the cliche. It's going to be, who has the ball last, who turns the ball over the least, those kind of things. But I would be very interested to see the injury report on Georgia's offensive line to see just how healthy they are.
All right. I don't even want to talk about this game. Honestly, it's just me and Tyler. Obviously, we've got a little bit of rivalry going, and it's the first time we've ever done a show together 2 weeks or 2 times in the same week. And that's interesting, man. It is obviously big shout out to Tyler for coming up here and helping us make this happen this afternoon. Some of you might have your concerns. I would say sit on something and rotate. With that being said, Tyler, what's a game outside of this game? Because I'll tell you, I don't care about any other game that's going on at 6:30. But let's talk about maybe some of the early games that might have caught your attention, because I am so convoluted, so focused on this Alabama-Georgia game whenever Helene passes by us.
Yeah, no, I think just one last. It's just so hard to predict because it's so early. I mean, this is the earliest that they've played in a season, and it feels like forever. And we kind of have a better feel for both teams going in this game. But right now, neither team had I don't have a great feel for how either team's going to do. But I mean, there's some other fun games going throughout. It's there's Kentucky, Ole Miss early in this day. Lane Kiffin, what is he doing? They've only put up 40 against Wake Forest, which only kind of, facetiously, but, they're still trying to make their push for the playoff. And then Kansas State, Oklahoma State. That's a big game in the Big 12 early for that 11 a.m. window. And I don't think for this area it's going to quite get the love, but, that's going to end up being a game with some pretty big playoff implications probably down the road when we start talking the Big 12 winner. And if they can realistically get 2 in, I don't know based on what I've seen from some of these teams. But as far as an early game, if you're sitting at the house with not a whole lot to do, that's going to be one that could really catch your eye and probably be a fun game to watch.
850-215-6290. What are your thoughts on that, Coach Brian Haddad?
I agree with those. There's 2 other games I probably have my eye on. I think Louisville Notre Dame is very interesting. I think it's going to be, is Louisville for real? I think that, and I know Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. I get it, but you're still going to South Bend. This is a chance for Louisville to step into the conversation. The other one that has the exact same opportunity is Penn State has an undefeated Illinois coming to town. And Penn State has to win this game.
Oh, yeah.
And I think convincingly to show people, hey, we're for real. Don't leave us out of the Big Ten conversation. So those 2 games interest me in terms of just, they have a lot. It's not so much they have national championship implications, but they do have implications on teams getting into that playoff mix.
Yeah, and especially if you're James Franklin, Illinois is a team you have to beat as your Penn State. They haven't beaten Michigan, they haven't beaten Ohio State really, but you got to beat the Illinois, you got to beat the Purdue's, you got to beat the teams you're supposed to beat. If not, then what is James Franklin being paid for at Penn State?
Yep, I agree completely.
Oh, this is fun for me. Now we've got two college football aficionados on the line at the same time. Coach Brian Haddad is one of my favorite people to have on the air with me each and every Monday. But today is, I'm looking at the DJB log, Thursday, September 26th. With that being said, let's keep it rolling, though, across the board. And one thing that hasn't been discussed, I'm not sure if it's across the board, but I know for sure on the Inside Drive and on the Afternoon Underdogs, Shedeur Sanders throwing a Hail Mary at the end of the game to get Colorado back into the game against Baylor as the rain starts to pour down here behind us at the studio, ESPN Northwest Florida. What's your thoughts on that, Coach Brian?
I mean, I'm no fan of Colorado. I don't think Shedeur translates to the next level like a lot.
You're old, I get it.
Yeah, well, that's true. That being said, that was good for them. I mean, they honestly needed something like that. And you know, I mean, look, this is a team that has a lot of people who probably love them for, you know, not the right reasons, and there's a lot of people who hate them for not the right reasons. So getting that was good. I actually feel bad for Dave Aranda at Baylor. Because, I mean, he came out at such a good first season, and, boy, it's just been ugly since. And I think he's a good coach. I don't know what's going on, but, you know, that's rough for him, obviously. But, you know, I mean, look, Hail Marys are always kind of fun, and, you know, Colorado probably needed something like that, so good for them.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I was going to say, like, for all the hype Colorado gets, like, they're still a 4-8 type football team, so, like, them winning that kind of game is huge.
Sad to a large extent?
I mean, I don't know if it's sad. It's just I think their hype, people always kind of overestimate like how good of a team this actually is. Like this is a fun team for a lot of people, but they're not a very like sound football team in a lot of ways. So like, yeah, winning a highlight, you know, on a Hail Mary is great because of like that may be one of the last wins they get in the entire year. And again, like Deion needs that kind of momentum, assuming he's going to stay at Colorado long term, which I'm not convinced of, but that's a whole separate argument. But yeah, you need some of those wins, especially, you know, against a team like Baylor, who is a Big 12 team, a conference team, a Power 5 team, which, you know, you need those kind of wins.
Power 4 team.
Oh, Power 4, yeah.
Is that not wild, though, to have to say something like that? And also me, someone who doesn't have a lot of haters, but if you were one of the people who texted Max earlier, you were in the hater club. Like, just let me tell you that face-to-face right now, or vocal to ear. I'm not a big fan of that, dog. And you could have hit me up face-to-face because I will always take that a lot better than what I will hearing it down the grapevine. And whatever your thoughts are your thoughts. So keep them necessary and close to yourself, dog. And I don't care about them. With that being said, how about this, though? Yes, was it close? Dude, I last year, I was a supporter. Now I'm a reporter. I can't believe in Colorado and what they're doing over there. It's nasty. Yeah. Nasty. And that's what we used to say with Miles Lashley would be nasty. That's exactly what this situation is. Like, I really wanted to believe in what Colorado brought to the table. However, not anymore. No, I can't believe in that. You don't give me nothing to believe in, man. Like you don't. And
look, you know what it is?
Yeah.
It's the same thing that's going on with Penny Hardaway at Memphis. It's the exact same thing. Great player. Who's drawn a lot of excitement to the program, bringing some good names in at the very beginning, but is not a great game day coach. Deion's not. He's good for a program. I mean, the economic impact he's had on Boulder, Colorado, and the University of Colorado is worth its weight in gold. But he's not a great game day coach. Neither is Penny, and that's why Memphis is struggling so darn bad. That and some illegal recruiting. And then, you know, what you've got going on with Deion right now in Colorado is very similar. He can bring a couple of high-level talents they normally would not have gotten, but you still got a coach, and he's just not at that level yet.
Yeah, I think that what makes me most, I mean, not nervous because I'm not a Colorado supporter by any means, so I'm not vested in their future.
Nerves aren't necessarily
But I mean, if you're a Colorado fan or somebody who, even if you're just a bystander who wants to see Deion succeed, like they brought in 7 high school recruits last year. That's not how you build a college football program. I don't care if it's the portal era, NIL, everything else. Like you still have to build a foundation through high school, and he has not done that very well so far. Not that he hasn't gotten a few blue chip players, but 7 high school kids is not how you build a program of 85-plus scholarship athletes.
850-215-6290. If there's one thing that I do, it is keep it real and keep it real with you and you personally.
Hey, David, let me ask you this.
Real quick, state of emergency in effect for Georgia and Florida. Back to Colorado. Brian Hatta, what do you have, Coach?
Well, no, what I wanted to do is pivot because I'm sure y'all went over it a ton yesterday and I was in the air, but literally in the air. The Sluka situation at UNLV.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Oh,
yes, I would love to dive into this.
All right, so here's the thing. So I've heard both sides of the story now. I'm actually going to throw a third side out there that maybe didn't happen, but I want you to fake on it. All right, first side says he was promised $100,000 in a verbal offer and didn't get it. That could be true. I'd say always get it in writing, but that could be true.
That was my overwhelming factor yesterday. When we talked about this, I'm like, get it in writing or shut your daggone mouth.
Right. Now, here's the second end. UNLV comes back and says, no, what happened was they get off to the hot start. You're coming up on this redshirt game, and he's holding them up for money. Guess what? That could be true as well.
Okay.
Both of those are products of the system, but I'm going to throw you a third option out.
But the first one starts overwhelmingly, right? Is get it in writing. If not,
certainly. Either way.
Shut your mouth. All right,
well,
back to
here's
third option here with Brian Haddad.
Here's the other thing, though, and I want both of y'all's take on this, because this may not have happened in this situation, but I guarantee it's going to. You look at this kid, Sluka. All right, he comes in, UNLV, gets them off to a hot start. Obviously, people are taking notice. What is every team in the country always looking for? A quarterback. I guarantee you.
They like them things around here?
I guarantee you if it didn't happen in this case, it's going to. You're going to have a situation where a guy like this goes to a small school, gets him off to 3-0, and a big school reaches out to his agent and says, tell him to shirt, we'll give him a bunch of money for next year.
My man just took the red off of the shirt.
Yeah.
What's crazy about, I mean, I'm not even doubting the theory because I can 100% see it, but like looking at his stats, he's thrown 48 passes. 43.8.
Who are you?
But he hasn't even completed 50% of his passes.
What I was saying is it's like, all right, listen, the people who have leverage are people who are going to make it to the next level. Outside of that, do your job. And when you, and here's my thing as a poor white man, my thing is my dad and my grandpa always said, you do what you said you was going to do. You might run that mouth because I'm pretty daggum good at that, and that's exactly why I'm here. Shout out to you, Max Delighten. It doesn't matter though. When you sign up for something, you do that job. I don't care about NIL, any of that other stuff, right? Because you had your opportunity to make more or whatever. But finality is this is your opportunity. So if you think that you're about to go to a higher university than the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, come on, man. What in the heck are you thinking, brother?
But here, first thing, David, let me welcome you to the fact that you're now old because
yes, I am.
They're not being raised that way anymore. They're just not.
Oh, okay, but still, facts are facts. Like that will never leave.
Look, trust me. You know me. I'm the get off my lawn guy, and I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And he don't have to get off my lawn, though, right, Brian? Because like the fact is like life remains life, and we don't have to entertain just because
No, I agree.
people
It
are
would be great
choosing
if
what
coaches
region they want to be or choosing what gender they want to be doesn't mean that we have to abide by that.
No, that's true. And it would be great if coaches would see that and go, I don't want someone like that on my team, and then it would end. But, we're never even going to hear about that. My bigger issue is you're going to see another 10 or 15 guys after this weekend pull shirts and sit out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
This is a problem the NCAA has to address. The 4 games was done out of a good, noble idea. But, what is the saying? No good deed goes unpunished. This is the unintended consequence of that. They're going to have to rein this in because the scenario that I gave you is going to happen over and over and over unless this gets addressed.
Well, let's talk about a scenario that's even worse than that, in my opinion, as someone who was very excited for Reggie Bush to get his Heisman back, but now you double back and get your Biggie bag. I'm not happy about that situation at all. Reggie Bush suing the NCAA and the Heisman Committee, I believe, as well. Dude, come on. Where are we at today? And if Reggie Bush is successful, do you know all of the little minuscule waves that are going to come away from this as well?
And what gets me is okay, Reggie Bush is going to sue for X amount, but who's to say Robert Griffin, what is Robert Griffin worth to, how many Reggie Bushes is Robert Griffin and Johnny Manziel? You know what I'm saying? So, or is it going to be one giant, class action lawsuit where Reggie Bush gets the same as, a Jacob Eason, in which case that's not really, market share anywhere. So I don't understand how much money he thinks he's really going to get out of it. And then what's the trickle down effect if it ends up being millions and millions and millions across players, where's that money coming from? Who's paying that? Is it USC? Is it the NCAA? Is it the conferences? Who is going to be on the hook for this money, assuming, and I have no doubt he's going to end up winning this lawsuit because I just kind of feel like that's where we are in sports today, but where's it coming from?
Well, it's like I said, the funny thing is Reggie Bush, the reason he got in trouble...
Hey, Coach Brian, I would love to hold you over for the next segment and possibly...
No, I got to run, actually.
No. Go ahead then. Give us your sentiment, and then you're gone from there.
Well, the Titans still stink.
Yeah, they do. But give us your take here.
No, I was just saying it was kind of comical, the Reggie Bush thing, because... the whole reason he got in trouble was because he technically did profit.
Oh, man, don't get me too real on this thing because I don't like it.
It goes all the way back to Earl Campbell, the Pony Express. There's all sorts of guys been getting paid for as long as there's been football.
That's right. That's right.
But don't stop there, Coach Brian. We got time for you.
No, I actually have some business. I can get to fly out here just for fun, so I actually have to get back down to it. But appreciate it as always. You guys batten down them hatches, man, and keep running with a great show.
All right. Thank you so much, man. Some would agree, some would disagree, but I will tell you one thing for sure. This is ESPN Northwest Florida. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. That was Coach Brian Haddad all the way from Denver, Colorado. And this is Tyler Bishop and David Hayes live from Panama City, Florida, where we may not have battened down the hatches, but I'll tell you one thing, the rain is coming through the hatches. And with that being said, we're going to take a quick time out. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida is your touchdown headquarters for the Mosley Dolphins and the Auburn Tigers.
Touchdown, Auburn!
Plus, premier college and NFL games.
Touchdown!
Your source for the most live football on the Gulf Coast in a rich audio experience.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Thursday's weather. The remainder of the day, there will be a very strong breeze out of the north, heavy rain and 79. A mixture of mostly clouds and light rain tonight, about the same at 73. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a strong breeze right around 21 miles per hour with a high of 82. About the same at 85 Saturday, and we'll have mostly sunshine. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts and Deli. Call 763-1627.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
In your face.
Questionable calls all over the NFL this year.
On the field.
Quantify to put a value on momentum. You can't do that.
And in your radio.
Hashtag NFL rig.
Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Chicken, chicken. Chicken haters. Chicken, chicken. Chicken haters. Chicken, chicken. Chicken haters. Chicken, chicken.
850-215-6290. If you want to disagree with Tyler or David, well, we'll take it. I do tell you what, 850-215-6290. This is the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in the beautiful area of Panama City, and 101.9, and also very beautiful, but a little bit more in the direct path of this storm as I am looking at she's a Hurricane 3 right now.
Talking about it getting up to 4 by landfall. So obviously, hoping
that's exactly how Michael worked.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 like that night, and then it was up to it was a 5 by the time it actually ended up landing. But again, for us here, selfishly hoping it keeps ticking a little east, and just hoping it hits somewhere where minimal damage, both personal, physical, all that good stuff, and just hoping and praying for anybody in the direct path of the storm.
All the way around, man. That is something for me that is so paramount. Is yes, you do we want it to jog east or jog a different way? Yeah, man, we want that thing to
not hit here.
Exactly. That's what we want. But the reality is that when you do that, you're sending it to another place that has constituents that have to deal with
the aftermath.
Oh, man, that reminds me of Slim Shady, dog. But for real, it's one of those things, and it's just like, for me, I'm someone who's like, I think that it helps a lot that I'm just a single human being, and I deal with whatever I have to deal with. I don't have a whole family that I have to show, like, this is what we're going to do, Like, no, I don't have that. And so with that being said, 850-215-6290, if we end up needing to be the place for you to survive the storm, then what I told Bone Crusher is, hey, you just holler at me, brother. You just tell me that you want to come up here and do a show, and we're going to have a little bit of roles reversed. I'm not about to lead it. If you want to lead it, by all means, dog, by all means, you lead it, and I'll just sit back here. But the Inside Drive should be live here from ESPN Northwest Florida tomorrow morning, and the Afternoon Underdogs will absolutely be live tomorrow. And if you'd like to come holler at us, like if you'd like to, you can either do one of two things. You can call in right now, 850-215-6290. Would we love that? Yes, 100%. Or come up here tomorrow and be Fan Friday, because we're still looking for a guest picker. And with that being said, send your name in to 850-215-6290. I don't know if anybody ends up actually wants to go to Talladega, but if you do, stay tuned at 5:40, because we are going to be trying to send you to
Talladega for the race to Talladega, brought to you by ESPN Northwest Florida. All right, my friend Tyler Bishop. First off, let me say this. Extremely thankful of you coming in when I should not even be doing this show myself right now, if we're being quite frank. But Randy he's a boss at the end of the day, and sometimes you just got to do what the boss tells you to do. Where's your head at? Give me the number one college football game that you're looking forward to that you think could be a dud, but you're going to call it a stud.
So am I looking forward to the game, or do I think it's going to end up being a game that's not nearly as good as people are expecting it to be?
And whoever just called, 850-215-6290, I'm sorry that I am hosting the show and I'm also on the board, so it takes me a little bit more time to get to your calls. With that being said, call back. What I'm saying is, Tyler, a game that you feel like ain't got no business being good, but you think is actually going to be good.
It's going to end up being upset, not an upset special, but an underdog special, I guess, babies.
I like that. I love the way that you coined that there. Underdog special.
Underdog special. Ooh, man, that's a good one. Give me. Honestly, we kind of talked about it last segment, but I think it could be that Illinois-Penn State game. I mean, I think we picked the game on Tuesday, and I want to say the spread was like 17.5. But I'm not a believer in Penn State. I'm not a believer in their quarterback, and I think Illinois is just a sound football team. I think Brett Bielema he's a boring coach. It's a 19.5 point line. Yes. So I think that's a game that we could see end up being very competitive in the third, fourth quarter, and all of a sudden you start getting those ESPN alerts like, oh, hey, this is going to be an upset special. Tune in. Is number 9 Penn State going to go down or whatever? I think that could be one of those ones. And I think maybe one for this area that could be a little bit more pertinent to our listeners is that FSU SMU game. Florida State getting a win this past week. Can they carry any of that momentum over to Dallas? Because, if we're being honest, like, SMU probably does not have the same level of athletes as Florida State. So can they, can Florida State out-athlete SMU? Have they are they going to rise with that momentum?
You think FSU is going to beat SMU?
I'm not saying I definitely think that. I'm just saying that as far as
we can double bet.
I'm not that confident in Florida State.
But now, also, though, I didn't know that we were going to have you here, so we have like a whole hour and 7 minutes to figure out a bet between David and Tyler Bishop. David, the aficionado, not even the aficionado, let's keep it real, fan of Alabama. All right. And then Tyler Bishop, aficionado, will we keep that there? Absolutely, of college football. But also, let me bring in someone who I really do believe knows his college football and his football in general, and that would be LSU Jeff. LSU Jeff, what's going on, brother?
Hey,
that was... Wow.
The enthusiasm's off the charts.
What's up?
How y'all doing? How y'all doing, guys?
My goodness gracious, dude. If we were any better, we'd have crawfish in here.
Hey, look, what was I going to say? Have y'all talked about the O'Shea Ohtani baseball?
O'Shea Ohtani, my goodness, he just got a new nickname. What's the latest?
Well, the
50-50.
The kid that's 18 years old in Miami is suing because he says he's the one that should own the ball because it got taken from him at the game.
Don't bring me suing stuff because I don't like it. And I'm not mad at you, LSU Jeff.
Yeah.
But come on now. When are we not going to get away from, you can find the American dream rather than you can sue anyone to get to where you need to get to?
So, stadium officials took the ball from him? Is that what happened? Because I'm not 100% familiar.
It was a bigger guy standing next to him and took the ball.
Hit the gym, cuz.
Oh, okay.
Hit the gym, cuz. As a small guy, I'll tell you that. Hit the gym, cuz.
Yeah. Well, he's 18 years old. It was his birthday. His 18th birthday. He went to the game in Miami.
Don't care.
Wow,
I don't care if it's your birthday or whatever. Listen, me and Liam could have went to Liam's birthday was today, right? He was running the board for the Inside Drive, and me and Liam could have went to a game together today, and Shohei Ohtani hits a ball towards both of us, Guess who's muscling him out? Me. Me. I'm not joking. That's the funny thing is, like, for the people who are listening to me, and you listen to me on an average day basis, like everyday basis, I keep it a buck. I keep it so much a buck, like you'll see how much of a buck I keep it in the future when you don't hear things that you thought you was gonna hear in the past. With that being said, like, no, dude, this is baseball, bro. Like, it's not, oh, your birthday present here, let me hand you $50 million. Like, no, I don't care.
What are they saying the value of that ball would be?
Probably about $50,000 at least. No,
the auction tomorrow starts off at $50,000, but they said you can buy it for $4.5 million right now.
What a lucky guess!
$4.5 million. That's insane. Like,
I said $50,000. I'm like, no, absolutely not.
I understand sports memorabilia being a thing, but like, 4.5 million for what? Like, just because I know 50-50 is a big accomplishment, but it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm not that big of a collector. I guess I don't understand it, but man, that's insane to me.
I just think that's where we're at with sports memorabilia. I would say even hotter than sports card collecting is at such a high right now, and that's what people want. You know, especially when you're talking about like highlights of a person's career.
And he's such a unique player, too. Probably plays a huge role in it as well, I guess. But, man.
What would you say, though, LSU Jeff?
I think it is hotter than cards. I think it is pretty huge right now. It is a hot item. People will pay money for it. I think he is a unique player. I can't even think when the last time we had such a unique player like that. I mean, there's some pitchers I might think of, like Verlander or maybe Randy Johnson, or I don't know, Pedro Martinez. You know, there's some iconic players, but I can't even think of when's the last player that we had that we've talked this much about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not even the biggest baseball guy by any means, and that's put it very nicely.
Well, that's one of the things that actually kind of keeps you around too, is because you know college football so heavily, but the questions that you come with rather. When we're talking to other sports is what keeps you around.
My ignorance is useful sometimes, but
I think they say it could be bliss.
It is, man. I'm very blissful. But even Shohei is such a huge player. I mean, there's nobody out that follows sports at all that doesn't know who he is. Like, you may not know a ton about him, but like, you know he's a baseball player. You know a lot of the stuff, and he's just one of those guys that kind of transcends the game right now. And I wish I was a big enough baseball fan I could appreciate it. But I can still kind of appreciate like his level of stardom and like how big he is in baseball as a whole. He's kind of like Travis Hunter right now in college football. Like, a lot of people, even if you don't know sports.
You're not a big believer in Travis Hunter.
I'm a believer in Travis Hunter. I think playing him both sides is wrong.
Okay, right. But what side should he be playing?
I mean, that's
LSU Jeff. We'll start with you. We'll give Tyler a little bit of time to think about this. LSU Jeff, what do you think? Travis Hunter? Yeah, what side of the football should he play when it comes to the football league that is national?
You know, as far as celebrity status goes, if it was 10 years ago, I would have said defensive back. But right now, I'm going to say he should be like an all-purpose player in the NFL. Well, he will be if they do him kick returns, running back, out in the flat.
Yeah, he's already an all-purpose player.
I mean, I kind of agree. Like,
use him up.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, use them up. I mean, just, there's players that just can play all those different positions because of their speed and their ability to catch the ball.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, if you were a player like Travis Hunter who could play both sides, like, why would you not want to play on the offensive side of the ball right now? Like, who are the best cornerbacks in the league? Sauce Gardner and whoever else?
Pat Surtain.
Okay, yeah. And how many times do we talk about Pat Surtain?
Jalen Ramsey.
How many times do we talk about those guys, though?
How long have we?
Very rarely. But you talk about Amon-Ra St. Brown. You talk about Tyreek Hill. You talk about
what infuriates me about that as, like, someone who does play-by-play, and it's like, I have to name the offensive line early in the game or else they don't get no love. And how often does that happen? I'm a bad play-by-play guy.
But that's the thing. Like, if you want to start him, which I kind of feel like Travis Hunter does, like offensive side. And I mean, we just saw the way these guys got paid. Amon-Ra.
He is. He's definitely an offensive guy.
Like, Amon-Ra just got paid. Justin Jefferson just got paid. Jamar Chase trying to get paid. Like, all these guys we talk about. Like, if you want to start him, you want the money. It's offensive side the whole way.
LSU Jeff, you want to hang around with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right, then. With that being said, you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Afternoon Underdogs. If you got something hateful to say it to my daggum face. We'll be right back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the NFL.
Touchdown, Denver!
We bring you the biggest games every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night.
Oh, he's got the first down!
Plus, we'll broadcast more college football games than ever before.
He did what?
Live NFL and college football play here.
Unbelievable!
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Thursday's weather. The remainder of the day, there will be a very strong breeze out of the north, heavy rain and 79. A mixture of mostly clouds and light rain tonight, about the same at 73. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and a strong breeze right around 21 miles per hour with a high of 82. About the same at 85 Saturday, and we'll have mostly sunshine. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hello, this is Rick Vosser with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore Portable Building Dealer, Panama City.
WGSX Lynn Haven, W Field Q Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Now back to the most dangerous afternoon show on terrestrial radio.
It's dangerous.
It's illegal in 5 states. The Afternoon Underdogs. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot dog, man. I need a bun. Are we done? For real, dog? That's where it go? Oh, wait, you're listening to the radio. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 in Florida, the Northwest part. All right, dog, it's a Panama City part. And I'm about to bring in someone to start us off. That's Tyler Bishop, and we still got LSU Jeff. That's how you do it. Tyler Bishop, what you got for me? We're the home of the Mosley Dolphins and the Auburn Tigers and the Atlanta Braves, and this is ESPN Northwest Florida. And guess what? Because of this rain, there is no Atlanta Braves tonight. There's literally, I'm here because I love you guys. That's why I'm here. For real.
When do the Braves games get rescheduled for?
Monday. We're going to have a little bit of a doubleheader action. And with that being said, we'll see how it plays out. But I would encourage you guys to call into 850-215-6290 and help us get through the rest of this show. With that being said, we have LSU Jeff on the line. LSU Jeff.
Yep.
You guys kind of struggled with the Gamecocks of LSU, or of South Carolina. And now, here you are, struggling with UCLA, which, if I'm going to be honest, if I'm going to tell anybody anything, LSU is garbage this year. Yeah, but for real, straight up facts. They're garbage this year.
So here's the difference, though.
Okay.
My expectations. My expectations
forget
are
those
9-3.
Throw those out of the window.
Okay, so if they lose to Ole Miss and Alabama, they could end up 9-3 at best. At best. So
you're saying 9-3 at best?
At best,
that's feasible. It's feasible.
Yeah,
I love that
but
word.
the problem is you have to beat Texas A&M and Oklahoma, and that's the question. Can you beat those two teams? And the SEC
Say
Player of
those
the
two
Week
teams
is
again?
Oklahoma and Texas A&M.
I think y'all beat both of them. I think you're a better football team than both of those teams.
I think the biggest thing with Texas A&M is being on the road. And if it ends up being a night game in College Station, that could be
I feel like Texas A&M is garbage. Do we agree on that? I'll take his word over mine, ladies and gentlemen. That's just what I do. But
I don't know if garbage is a fair word. I mean,
garbage. Can you give us some fanciness?
Garbage. I don't know if garbage is fair for A&M yet. I mean, I think part of the issue, an impressive win against Florida on the road, which again, it's Florida, nothing special there. I got. A lot of these teams just haven't played enough teams. Like, they lost to Notre Dame week 1, but, whatever there.
That's how I am with this whole Georgia-Bama game.
Yeah, and that's where we are with most everybody in college football. Like, you can look at every game that every team is playing and be like, well, this game isn't really a great indicator because of this.
Oh, James, North Carolina is never going to beat another team because they lost to James Madison like this.
70 burger.
Okay, but that's not factual.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think Texas A&M will be a team that improves throughout the year because Mike Elko's first year, they're going to kind of keep growing in that system. But, no, that's going to be a tough game for LSU, though. But and those have been kind of fun games, if I remember correctly, the last few years, especially while Jimbo was there. We had that 7 overtime game a few years back, which ended up changing the overtime rule. So thanks a lot, LSU, Jeff, to LSU Tigers. Single-handedly blaming y'all. But
I said the F word right there.
But yeah, no, I mean, but to his point though, looking at it, they should beat Vanderbilt, they should beat Florida, they should beat Arkansas.
Can we keep it a buck real quick? How do y'all feel about the overtime rules?
Should have never been changed.
Yeah. Or I would agree.
I agree 100% with him.
I would agree if maybe they started the 5th overtime, you went to 2-point conversions.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
I think you should have at least 3 or 4 standard overtimes before you go to the straight 2-point plays. But what is it, the 3rd overtime now with the 2-point plays? And granted, I guess
no, because technically how it goes now is regular.
Yeah.
Then score a touchdown.
And you have to go for 2.
Gotta go for 2.
See, but I'm okay with it having to go for 2 even in the 2nd overtime.
But let's put that in the 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with that. But I just don't like the straight 2-point plays after the 2nd overtime. I think that should be the 5th, kind of like we were talking about, like the LSU Texas A&M game a few years back. Like at that point, when you get to 7 overtimes, yeah, those can be 2-point plays and just let them ride. But man, you're almost like now you're deciding these games on a coin flip, which I guess basically they are. That's why they're 4 or 5 overtimes. Right? But like
Vegas,
man, when it comes down to one play like that, you just hate to see such a beautiful football game end like that.
LSU, Jeff?
Well, okay, I'll put it to you like this.
All right.
You've eliminated the chaos.
Hold on. Seriously? No, just keep on going.
I think that they've eliminated the chaos that could happen like that LSU Texas A&M game. That game could probably happen every 7 years like that. Just the chaos can happen like that because there's two teams that just, I don't say evenly match, but they just keep on coming back at each other. And I'll bring up a game this weekend. Washington State is undefeated and beat the Washington Huskies already, and they're playing Boise State in a late-night game. The over-under is 65.5. That could be a game that could go into overtime and reach epic proportions of overtimes because they can both score. Mm-hmm. And we're going to miss out on all that thrilling action because they want to change the rules.
Well, what gets me is, they've got the overtime rules are supposed to shorten the game. They've got the moving clock that's supposed to shorten the game and everything else. But, we don't worry about cutting commercials out the game. We just want to get rid of the actual football.
Have any of you felt like the games have actually been shortened? I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you this much as someone who time actually matters because I run clocks.
of games. With that being said, no, they haven't. They've went from 4 hours and 15 minutes to 4 hours and even minutes, essentially.
But the issue is though, like the football, but like the commercials are keeping it longer, but we're getting less football out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's like they
that's
tried
what
to.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Is they're feeding us this lie, but the truth is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
And it is honestly, dude, as someone who has to freaking do this, it's annoying.
Yeah.
It's very annoying when they're telling you, oh, games are going to be 3.5 hours now. It's like, no. I want to say some bad words, and I can't.
I do like the structure of the NFL and their time windows and things like that, as far as like the way that this system's
you're
run.
a more college football guy than you are an NFL
for sure.
guy.
But just like watching the college, it just doesn't. I just feel like I'm sitting there watching, especially when you go to a game.
LSU Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm cutting Tyler off. Why? Because that guy is so intelligent, and no, he is though. He is. He might laugh at himself, and I don't blame him. But I will say this. I'm trying to ask people who believe in their love of sports, what's better to watch? Don't just give me college football as an answer, because I'm going to land in that same way too. I'm going to land in the college football land. But here we go. College football, NFL, what's better to watch and why?
I think it depends upon your upbringing.
Okay, depends. Here we go. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. Keep on going.
No, I mean, like, when I was a teenager, before, as junior high and high school, we had LSU season tickets. We didn't have Saints season tickets. They were more expensive. And the college atmosphere is just more rowdy. It's more drunken. It's
fact of the day.
Yeah, and it's funny because you're talking about New Orleans. You're trying to compare it to New Orleans, and you're saying that the LSU crowd is crazier than the Saints crowd. That says something in itself right there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and again, I really do agree. Like, if you talk to somebody who's raised in the North, where the NFL is a little bit bigger, they're going to have a certain way, or sometimes it's just like your individual family. Like some families, like if your dad was a Bears fan and he didn't care about college football, like
he probably doesn't like football at all.
Like you're just going to be a Bears fan or a Saints fan or whatever it is.
I would say Bears fans actually probably have the least care about life in general.
But like for us, it's the exact opposite. Like we were dog fans. Like we would watch the Falcons, we'd watch whoever in the area. But like, we treated like Georgia football like that was it for our family. That was the pinnacle of the week.
Dude, I'm so happy for you guys that y'all got a new life, if you will, because that is a rarity.
Yeah,
it is.
Kirby Smart's been great for athletes.
College football.
Yes, sir.
Man, such a rarity to have this opportunity where college football means something to you. There's 5 teams maybe where college football really means something to someone. Alabama, we're on our way out. There's no doubt, unless Kalen DeBoer is just really that real. I don't think he is, but I do love him. Georgia, I think they're the new Alabama. Ohio State, them guys, I hate them so much. Why do I hate them? Because they're good. They're good, man. They're so daggum good. LSU, dude, shut up. Shut up. Garrett Nussmeier, dude, I have watched him for 3 games now. That guy is not that good. If you think he is, please holler at me at 850-215-6290. Guess what? We've got an LSU fan on the line, and we're going to find out how he feels about Garrett Nussmeier when we get back. And that would be in about 2 minutes. And this is the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN, Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
Obviously, some of the talk conversations right now are currently tropical. It hadn't been named yet. It's Tropical Cyclone 9, soon to be, Helene or something like that. Yeah.
Helene.
Yeah. Every time I hear that,
Join Ryan Mulvey.
I do very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. A variety of mostly clouds and light showers tonight with a wind around 24 miles per hour coming out of the west and a low of 73. Tomorrow morning, look for mostly sunshine with a temperature near 80. The afternoon and evening, a high around 82 and sunshine. Saturday, hot with a high of 85 and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Life can take us so many places. And at Panama City Toyota, we're here to make sure every drive is worth every minute.
Maybe you want a fun, fuel-efficient car for everyday driving. Or you need a dependable vehicle that really gets the job done. Sometimes it's all about answering the call of the wild. And when you're ready to shop, reserve your vehicle online and choose your options. Or we'll help you in person, even if you started the process at home.
Whatever works for you, always works for us.
From the diamond to the end zone, from the studio to the sideline, we're the destination for sports on the Gulf Coast. ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs.
Great for a season, then I blow it like that. Done things in my life that'll make you yak. Take some sex, but there's more at bats. Ain't doing no shit, I just keep it 100.
104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 in Panama City, Florida. With that being said, you can, and we would be very appreciative. 850-215-6290. I did something that I've never done before, and I was not aware of what I just did until LSU Jeff's still online. Hold on, Bob. I just ended a segment at 5:12, and Tyler's like, you know it was 5:12. I'm like, oh, daggum, man. That's just something I got to live with, and we'll talk with the owner, and if the spots get paid, the spots get paid. But again, if you have shade to throw, how about you put that on your finger, take that, and shove it up something. With that being said, this is ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-6290. I am throwing so much shade towards a person who's throwing so much shade for this radio station. I hope he's listening because, dog, I ain't happy with you, brother. With that being said, Tyler Bishop, LSU Jeff, let's get into a game that you think is going to dictate what happens in the future for college football. And when I say future, I mean college football playoff. But let's get into it, man. Obviously, there's one that means more than any other game. Let's not dive into that because we don't want to talk about that. We just want to watch that, right? I think that's everyone's. Go ahead.
I want to hear what LSU Jeff has to think about the big game this week from a kind of relatively neutral.
Bama, Georgia. What do you think?
Bama, Georgia. I think that Georgia's going to take it this year, but I mean, are they going to rematch in the SEC championship again? I mean, it's going to be. I don't want to say I hope it's not a perpetual thing, but that's my hopes that Ole Miss kind of slips in this year.
Okay, I can see that.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I can see that. I think as a fan, like you want to, if your team is not the one playing in it every year, you want to see some diversity, a little variety. So, I mean, I was there a few years back. Like, I felt that way about Bama. I felt like LSU played in the SEC championship a handful of times. We actually feel like we played LSU almost every time we made it to the SEC championship for a while there. But for sure. I mean, I'm not mad at him. I mean, if we beat Bama, I hope we don't have to play him again, at least in the SEC championship game, just because rematches are so difficult. But Ole Miss, Ole Miss has got a favorable schedule. If they can get by, I mean, Georgia's going to be their biggest test, but outside of that, they've got super favorable schedule. And man, if Lane Kiffin makes it to Atlanta, like, how does that impact
Lane Kiffin to Atlanta?
Well, no, it makes it to Atlanta in the SEC championship game. Like, how does that impact Florida trying to poach him from Ole Miss and the whole, like, that's all they're...
What do you think, though? Like, I feel like you have a very intelligent collegiate football mind. Do you think there's an actual reality? Let's start this way. LSU Jeff. Potential reality of Lane Kiffin going to Florida.
10% chance.
10%. Okay. That's very nice.
That's fair.
Proud of you.
That's fair.
Thanks for being nice.
So obviously the name that came up this week was John Gruden. And then the sleeper that everybody's sleeping on is Gus Malzahn from Central Florida.
He's on the phone bus.
Yeah. So he's the outsider that nobody's looking at. But I don't know. Central Florida beats the Gators, and I think it's going to be on the radar.
Oh, dog, we got that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if they run the Big 12 like it's possible, they can make it to the Big 12 championship.
If they do, Davis.
He's a sleeper.
Yeah, no, Gus is an interesting option. Obviously, he's got some SEC experience. I mean, coached as well against Nick Saban as just about anybody. I think an interesting candidate that could end up popping up when that job comes available is the USF head coach. He hasn't been super successful yet.
I don't even know his name.
Alex Golish. He came from
Golish.
The biggest issue is him coming from that Tennessee system. Like, I don't know if Florida wants to be like Tennessee in that sense, but I think if Heupel makes the playoffs, that's going to kind of make that system a little bit more appealing. And the way his defense played against Bama the last 2 years, like, I mean, I think there's going to be reasons for people to like, because I don't think Lane is a realistic candidate. I don't think Lane's going. 10% probably sounds about right to me. Maybe
Wait,
it's 8.
Didn't they say that Kirby Smart was a 75% chance?
No.
No?
No.
Come on now. I want your heart to be broken, bro. I want to break your heart on the air.
Gainesville. Let's be serious here. Like, I'd have to see that from him in a press conference in a Gator polo before I believe that. But, I think Golish in USF, and I think Mike Gundy. Like, I think he could be a sneak candidate.
Are you saying he's a man?
I think he could be a fun candidate to consider a little bit down the road.
Hot damn. What do you think about that? I'm talking to you, LSU, Jeff.
No. I don't think it's happening. I think it's impressive.
Give me some. Yeah, there we go. Here we go.
So 2 weeks ago.
No, don't go back to 2 weeks ago. Go back to 36 weeks ago.
So let me drop a name on you. Sonny Dykes from TCU was a big name 2 years ago, right?
Where was he at before he was at TCU?
It wasn't Oklahoma State.
No, it was not.
Where was it?
SMU.
Oh, SMU. Okay. Oh, that's right. He switched sides of town.
Yes.
Wow, yeah.
He made that rivalry game just a little bit more of a rivalry, and I appreciate that forever. And Max, you'll see what I'm talking about in the future.
Yeah, it is a big rivalry over there. They think it's a top 10 rivalry of the country, but I disagree.
Everybody likes to think their rivalry is important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I'll tell you what. Whose rivalry doesn't matter. It's Florida and Georgia. That shit should just be canceled.
Sonny Dykes lost 2 weeks ago to Central Florida, and I think that's just something that just adds to Gus Malzahn's resume. And he's right down the road. I mean, Orlando and Gainesville, what is it, like an hour, it's a 2-hour drive maybe?
Yeah, and that's just a straight shot up 75 right there.
Yeah. So, do you think him beating Sonny Dykes says something?
Yeah. Do you think Brian Kelly is the LSU coach next year?
Yeah, I think he gets fired after next year.
Okay, so he's there for one more year.
I don't think he's last. I don't think he lasts.
I think there's a better chance he'd leave on his own accord than get fired after this year.
I don't know
if he will, but I think that's more likely.
It's smart on your part, 100%. Dumb on my part. That's how I live life. I think that he needs to be fired this year. Look, You had expectations? He had expectations. He had expectations at Notre Dame. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They did not work out. Get rid of them. Start the rebuild. RN. And some, in texting purposes, and I will also tell you this while we're sitting here in a radio station and there is rain falling behind me vehemently. And some of you might have, what's David doing? Like, David's doing what the heck he's got to do. With that being said, yeah, get rid of Brian Kelly. What do you say, LSU Jeff?
Well, you know Brian at the radio station, he's a Mississippi State fan?
Coach Brian Hyde, yeah.
Yeah, so
dumb.
Brian...
Hey, how dumb is that? Let's discuss that. He's an LSU fan. I mean, a Mississippi State fan. I mean, it would be dumb to be an LSU fan. But to be a Mississippi State fan, my gosh, your credentials got to be revoked.
He made the comment this week that he thinks that the sleeper upset is Southern Alabama, South Alabama.
USA.
Going to beat LSU.
Yeah, he did. He said that actually. He said that on the Afternoon Underdogs.
Man, that would be.
It's not happening.
I don't think so. But if
it's not happening.
But I mean,
I bet if you give me the bet line.
No, I'm not. I would never bet on that game. But like, I mean, they lost to Troy, right? Oregon or Orgeron's last year.
Huh?
LSU lost to, was it Troy in Baton Rouge? Orgeron's last year?
They did lose.
So, I mean, I don't think
100%.
Brian Kelly is that bad of a coach, but...
I don't think that you can sit there and say that that's because of Brian Orgeron. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like when you lose to crappy teams, if you will, lower teams, that has nothing to do with the coach.
That's got a lot to do with the coach, I think.
I disagree. I disagree.
That's fair.
Where are you at on that one, LSU, Jeffrey?
I think it has a lot to do with the coach and discipline and keeping the team focused. You know, and that's the reason why a lot of teams do a bye before a big game like Alabama and Georgia just did, and LSU gets a bye before Ole Miss, is because they need to focus on winning that week. And
I'm saying this. I'm going to say this. If you are my players and we're losing to crappy teams, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Do I agree with you guys? This guy over here, it's a category 4, y'all.
Oh, is it bumped up a little bit?
It's a category 4 now. If you're worried about what's going on with David and you think, you know, I'm gonna save him by words sent to other persons, you're dumb. And second, I love the laugh from LSU Jeff there. This is, ladies and gentlemen, this is about to get wild. This is about to get wild. So, me and Tyler are going to be so gracious enough to finish out the show. And I've got ways for Tyler to get in home, back to the house. Stay buckled down, dog. Like, for real. This is, man. Hurricane Michael was something that, to me, LSU Jeff, your thoughts first so I can collect mine.
Well, I mean, you live in Callaway, right?
I live everywhere.
Yeah. They, I mean, the east side of the city, Panama City, is where they're getting, you know, more wind shear, and that's not good. So it's heading, right off from Tallahassee, and that's...
Back to back! I think there was a guy named, I think his name was Drake. Back to Back was the name of his song, so...
But I wish it does move further to the east, because the Big Bend doesn't have people that live in the Big Bend, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, no, it's.
I think I've seen Tyler getting a little bit more worried than what I saw him like earlier. It's like, bro, go. Literally.
Yeah, we're good.
No, okay. All right, I'm fine with that, but it's just, my thing is this. Yo, your family means more than anything, being you or being anyone that's listening. Your family matters more than anything that happens. I just so happen to be a dummy, and I can live my life how I want to live my life. Hey, listen here, dog. A year ago, that don't happen. No, I probably have someone dictating my life a little bit. But guess what? She chose her ex-partner. With that being said, thank you. Thank you, woman. Hey, for real. Let's keep it 100. No, I am thankful though that she did do that. Like, I've been the happiest that I've been in my last couple months. And then I have been in a long time, but I don't care because every day is what?
A blessing.
Yes, absolutely. I would love for you to say choice, though.
Oh, well, that too.
Either
way.
That's it. LSU Jeff, I need you to tell me one thing. LSU, they play Bama in a little bit, but that don't matter. I need you to tell me who wins out of Bama and Georgia.
It's going to be Georgia this week.
Yeah, okay, all right, bye. That was fun. That was fun. LSU Jeff, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bring you back. Though.
Hey, let me bring up a scenario for you.
Yeah,
though.
for sure. Scenario. Can you say it like that? Can you do that real quick for me? Can you say scenario?
Scenario.
I love it.
Scenario.
Who cares?
So,
I was actually politically correct.
Hey, Miami Hurricanes still undefeated. Don't have to play Clemson in the regular season. They could be playing Clemson in the ACC championship. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I think right now this is like
Tyler Bishop.
It's got to be that's got to be the odds-on favorite for the ACC championship, I would imagine. So I mean, it'll be interesting because Clemson.
Who do you think is playing?
I mean, I think right now the favorites have to be Miami and Clemson to play. Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's like Clemson's exploded on offense against Appalachian State and NC State, two teams who we're not going to call them top-tier defenses by any means. So I'm interested to see what Clemson can do against even a marginal step up in offense or in defense. And because they put up 120 points or whatever it was in 2 games after putting up 3 versus Georgia. So I think that's the biggest thing. And I mean, Miami with Cam Ward is playing some great football. I think he's kind of skyrocketed up to one of the top 3 Heisman favorites. And can they keep that rolling? Sometimes teams peak a little too early. We've seen it before. But I think that's going to be one heck of a game, and assuming we get it. And, I mean, I think it's kind of 2 contrasting styles because of Clemson being a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball, while Miami's kind of the highlight right now is Cam Ward.
Gotcha. Hey, Cowboys and Giants tonight. Who y'all got?
Wait, they're playing football tonight? Hey, dadgummit, dude, we made it through.
We did.
It's 5:30. Can I give a big shout out, ladies and gentlemen? I just want to give y'all a PSA, if you will, and for some of you who got your freaking ideas and whatnot, and it's like, dog, I don't like them ideas that you said, and you send them to other people, and it kind of ticked me off a little bit. But with that being said, We're here. It's Thursday Night Football. I didn't even realize that because I woke up on the couch. Like, let me just keep it real. I woke up on the couch 3:45. I'm like, oh crap, we've got a show to do, and I have no one coming in. That's just real. And luckily, Tyler Bishop, stud as he is, comes in and saves the day, and then creates controversy that he wasn't even ready to create because, dog, I ain't even gonna say it.
But anyway, I think I'm interested to see what Malik Neighbors does. Cowboys defense has struggled this year so far, and if Danny Dimes can just feed him 12, 15 targets a game and kind of let him do what he does best, the Cowboys just, for whatever reason, they're not clicking right now. not on offense, not on defense. And I know it's the Giants. And I mean, 2 weeks ago, we would have said the Giants were one of the 1 or 2 worst teams in the league. But I think it's only a 5.5 line for a reason. And
someone says, Dave, have you been drinking today? Hurricane party. Like, no, I haven't been drinking today. Have I been sleeping today? Been trying to keep up. Goodness gracious, dude, you don't even know how much I've tried to catch up on sleep. And then I have this rain in the background. I'm just like, man, I want some more of that. I want a little bit more of that. LSU Jeff, you want to hang on for the, wait. We still got 8 minutes left.
The last leg and 3 off.
You're not going nowhere, LSU Jeff. And I'm 4331. Check yourself, dog. Where we want to go next?
Jeff, who do you think wins tonight? Dallas Giants. How you feeling?
Cowboys are going to kill them. And,
kill them.
I think that the Cowboys are due, and also take the over.
I don't like
44.5 points.
I think that's a terrible take.
Okay, I like that. If the Cowboys could find if there's a reset game, I think the Giants are probably a safe bet for a team that you want that to be. I mean, I would have said the Panthers were that team until last week when they kind of blew out the Raiders. But, I think the Giants are what you hope for as a team, kind of get your bearings back and hopefully your offensive feet back underneath you.
Bearings are fun. I will say this. I absolutely agree with you, Tyler Bishop. This is going to be the most... Okay, check your words, Dave. This is going to be the most dumb take that you've ever heard. Okay? I do think that the Dallas Cowboys win this game tonight. I really do. And I think they win it convincingly, Tyler Bishop. However, what I will say is my dumb self is picking the Giants. I'm picking the Giants. I don't know why. Can you talk me out of it?
I mean, you tried to talk yourself out of it just now. You're still picking them, right?
100%, yes. That's just how it goes. Someone says, Dave, hurricane party. I say, you know that I already eliminated all the words that you said outside of Dave and hurricane party, and go have a hurricane party with yourself, and I appreciate you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida 850-215-6290. With that being said, Tyler Bishop, actually, LSU Jeff, what is the move for Sunday? What's the game that's got you ready to go?
Okay, it's going to sound crazy because everybody's looking at.
Come on, you're a cerebral as all get out.
Well, the Chiefs Chargers and the Bills Ravens are the 2 big games of the weekend on Sunday. But I'm going to talk about one game that everybody's overlooking. I think the Broncos are going to win at the Jets, and that's my big upset.
Oh, you're betting on Bo Nix. That is that's risky business right there, sir.
Yeah, it is.
What do you think?
Upset of the weekend.
What do you think? What's your upset of the weekend?
Upset of the weekend in the NFL? Ooh, man. I know I picked an upset on Tuesday. I can't remember whatever games we were picking.
And by the way, we're taking your calls 850-215-6290. I'm looking at Helene. She is now a major Cat 4 hurricane. We've been there. We've done that. That does not make us superior to anything that's going on. Life is still in the Ron DeSantis is on a radio station. Oh wait, that's not CNN. I just see a lot of red. I was like, dang, what's Ron DeSantis there on CNN for? Anyways, back to you, Tyler Bishop.
I think a game that could get interesting with a 10-point line is the Niners and the Patriots. I mean, the Niners are still banged up. They haven't played their best football. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey's still going to be out. And the Patriots have just been, they haven't been exciting, but they can play some ball control. They can try to shorten the game, and that's what you got to do when you're a huge underdog. I think with a 10-point line in the NFL with what the Niners have shown so far, I think that's a huge line.
I feel like 850-215-6290, if you have hard feelings and you're not calling in, LSU Jeff is a man, first off. Oh, wait, We still got some race to tell. No one's gonna play that. That's honestly, if I'm being real, I'm someone who's I'm here more than anyone is at this station. Let's just keep it 100. I don't think anyone's worried about Talladega whenever they can race to their safety.
Yeah.
Okay, LSU Jeff, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why haven't you played?
I tell you what,
No, don't tell me what. Tell me why.
I had to jet out of town today because you know.
So you're telling me you're eating crawfish right now?
No, I wish I was, but I'll tell you what.
I had shrimp
you know how many
boil.
restaurants?
You know what I was thinking of? LSU Jeff. Whenever I had a shrimp boil, I was like, dog, I'm thinking of LSU Jeff right now. Not you in particular, but I'm thinking of LSU people in general because I used to go to Lafayette a lot.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, bring it back.
I don't know. I had to jet out of town because that hurricane, man, it was heading right for us.
You were not here for Michael, were you?
No, I was not.
Don't do it. Actually,
10 out of 10 would not recommend.
Well, as someone who is here for it or whatever, I'm like, I'll never leave. Like, unless, here's the only thing that would dictate me leaving. If I had a family, you would not catch me here.
That's
if
fair.
I had kids, I would not be here. However, because of the fact that I don't have kids, that's why I'm here. Because I don't even care about anything about that. It's just one of those things that's the difference. If I had children, you would not find me here. So for those of you who are wondering, should I leave or whatever? If you've got kids, get out of Dodge. If you're worried about, I don't even know. I'm pretty sure that they've already gone ahead and closed Friday down as well. But if they haven't,
yeah, I think schools are already closed.
Skip them.
Friday.
Who
anyway.
cares?
I mean, how much is really going to be getting done on a Friday after a hurricane, regardless?
But who cares anyways?
Yeah.
Like, who are you to tell me that my kids, what does IQ even stand for? LSU Jeff, hit me with that.
That's a good
What
question.
does what stand for?
IQ.
IQ? International, intelligence quality?
Yeah. I don't even know, but I'll say it sounds
Intelligence quotient.
Intelligence quotient. So with that being said, we're going to take a little bit of quotient of the time here. ESPN Northwest Florida. If you have a problem with David Hayes, hit me up face to face. If not, then save your daggum tears because I don't listen to them things. 850-215-6290. We'll be right back here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
It's your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500 Sunday, October 6th. Step 1, listen to Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 for the keyword of the day. Step 2, text the keyword in your racing name to 850-215-6290. Step 3, listen to 1240 and 540. If we announce your name, race to the phones and call us back for your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500 from your racing station.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. A variety of mostly clouds and light showers tonight with a wind around 24 miles per hour coming out of the west and a low of 73. Tomorrow morning, look for mostly sunshine with a temperature near 80. The afternoon and evening, a high around 82 and sunshine. Saturday, hot with a high of 85 and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hello, this is Rick Vosser with RV of Panama City, your local Stormore portable building dealer, located at 2241 East Baldwin Road. Shopping for a garage, portable building, cabin? We build them anywhere from 8 to 16 foot wide, 10 feet to 60 feet long. We can do insulation, electricity, transom dormers, thermal windows. Come, let's customize a building together. Rick Vossen, Stormore Portable Building Dealer, Panama City.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Chop on, Braves fans.
That is gone!
Since 2017, your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Bishop. What's going on?
Man, we're just here watching the weather, Helene.
Where obviously there's no games going on.
Yep, not yet. We got about an hour or so from kickoff for Thursday night?
Oh, for NFL, yeah. Yeah, but for high school football, I don't know what the move is for everyone else, though.
I would imagine everybody's at least moved a day.
I do know that Mosley is going to be 6 p.m. Monday night. And guess what?
Where's that game being played?
Milton.
Okay.
Milton. Which, do you know where that is?
West of us, right?
West of us.
About an hour and a half? Okay, yeah. A little farther
We'll say Pensacola. And like I told him, you ain't get me unless you do that thing on it's Saturday at 6:30. I'm out. I'm out of there at that point in time. But we do have Tyler Bishop. And I'm getting a little bit more worried about this storm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little closer.
Am I worried about it? Technically speaking, personally, no. Am I worried for y'all? Yeah, I am. I don't know. We don't have Bone Crusher in here doing his things, but this thing has went from a 2 to a 4 while we've been in here, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that was what was expected. It was, it was expected with the Gulf, and then.
Yeah, but here we are. Like, it's like I feel like I've noticed from you to some extent, like, dude, I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, I'm ready to go. and can I just like give you a big thank you for riding it out with me?
Yes, sir. Anytime, sir.
Anytime, sir. So if this was a 5 year, say, yep.
Well, that's a whole different.
I don't even know. Honestly, I'm not even going to say that I'm coming in tomorrow. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that though. For real. It's one of those things. 850-215-6290. We are your home for the Marlins. My goodness gracious. The Dolphins and the Tigers and the Atlanta Braves. And so with that being said, we are going to have your Tigers broadcast this Saturday. What's a game that has you like? All right, I'll say it like this. Me and you have been big on who this year?
K-State, Avery Johnson.
Exactly. And that just has not been the case.
That game was...
To this point, yes. If we're just going off of one singular game, BYU got the Brigham Young better of them. They did. What?
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on that game?
I mean, it's not a great look. I mean, BYU's always one of those teams that's interesting to predict because they have so many of their guys that go on those mission trips. So they're probably one of the older college teams.
So you're going to play mission trips? Because I've been on a few of those.
No. I was just saying, like, they're one of those teams that tends to surprise people, I think, at times because they are typically a little bit more physically mature than your average football or college team probably. But I mean, they gave up 28 points and I think like a 6-minute span.
Do we have LSU Jeff still on? LSU Jeff, chime in if you're here still.
Yeah. Did you know that Baylor is a 3.5-point favorite over undefeated BYU? That's crazy.
Wait. Hold on. You have turned this conversation into another thing. Are we serious right now? You're telling me
Baylor
that to my face?
Baylor's only 2-2 record.
BYU is going to wreck them.
Yeah, BYU is going to beat them.
Does anyone disagree with me?
Where's the game at?
It's at Baylor. It's at Waco.
This is going to be classic BYU. They upset a team at home on like a 10:30 kickoff, and then they turn around and lose on the road.
And the over/under is only 46.5.
This is a classic BYU. Just what is BYU doing game?
All right. Let's put a bet on this because we've got Alabama, Georgia. We've talked for 2 weeks now. What are we gonna do for the bet? Dog, I disagree with you so heavily. I think BYU takes care of business. But what are we going to... LSU Jeff, can you give us some stipulations for what me and Tyler bet for Alabama, Georgia?
Ooh.
He's a Alabama fan. I'm a Georgia fan. It's wild.
Well, let me tell you, you know what was on SEC Network today? They were replaying the SEC championship from last year.
Yeah. And Georgia, dude, I'll tell you
7.
what, that team that won the SEC championship, I forget who it was, but I will tell you this, they were a good daggum team.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, nobody was beating Georgia last year, you know?
Except for the SEC champions, but whatever.
Yeah. That's it. That was the only time all year. They haven't lost a game in 2 years. They lost one game
outside of. Can you do me a favor, LSU Jeff? Can you say something that does not does not move along from Roll Tide? Just say those words.
Roll Tide.
Hey, LSU Jeff saying Roll Tide, ladies and gentlemen.
Roll Tide.
He means that.
Oh, no.
I mean that. Do I love my cousins? Absolutely. What do you think about this, Tyler?
Think about which part?
The game. The game that's coming up, brother.
I just hope. I hope we see.
We're running out of time, and I obviously my tangents keep on taking us away.
I just hope we attack Milroe. Like Milroe can be forced into mistakes.
Do you feel?
I hope
would
he
you
tries
rather have Milroe or Carson Beck? Let's be real.
I mean, it really depends on what kind of offense you're running.
If you're a good offense, what offense would you rather have? What quarterback would you rather have? A guy who's just stagnant back there, or Jalen Milroe?
I mean, Carson's a better passer. So
I'm trying to catch him in his lie. LSU Jeff, you hear me?
Carson's a better passer. I'd rather. I mean, like I said, it really depends. If you want the quarterback run to be a significant part of your offense, the option's not even close, right? Like Jalen Milroe's probably the best mobile quarterback in the country right now, as when it comes to running the ball. But I mean, is he going to make every throw? I don't know.
Everything. No, he doesn't make the intermediate throws. He doesn't make the short throws, but you know what he does make?
He makes the long ones.
The long ones.
And that can be really successful, but when it ain't clicking, it can unclick very quickly. And so, like I said, I think it depends on what you're looking for in a quarterback. But, we'll see. We'll see what Carson Beck's got. I mean, this is a big stage for him. He was coming into the season, number 1 overall type guy in the draft, Heisman guy, all this other stuff, and hasn't played to those potentials so far for the most part. But this is one of those games that can skyrocket his Heisman chances right back up to the top if he comes out and plays extremely well.
My hands smell like makeup. 850-215-6290. You can be a part of the Afternoon Underdogs for the next 6 minutes. With that being said, LSU Jeff, let me ask you this. You've got 2 wide receivers who are prominent in the NFL. That would be called the National Football League. With that being said, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., who's your guy?
Oh, Neighbors.
Wait,
Definitely
you
neighbors.
just said that with a hard R?
Well, here's my worry is, Justin Jefferson is killing it with the Vikings without Kirk
Dog,
Cousins.
but can we all agree on this? And if you have a problem with me, holler at me at 850-215-6290. Justin Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the league.
I don't know anybody who'd argue that right now. What he's producing right now is just
dummies
insane.
would, I think.
And meanwhile, Jamar Chase is over there at the Bengals, and they're 0-3.
Wait, he plays for Cincinnati? I thought that he was.
Well,
I thought he retired.
What I love is the fact that the way like Jefferson approached his contract extension as opposed to how Chase approached it were so completely different. And then like Jefferson producing, and then he got hurt for a little bit last year, but he producing, and then got paid, and now he's still producing this year while Chase kind of held out, was kind of hoping for that deal beforehand, and then now they're struggling as a whole, but he's struggling a little bit. Like it's just obviously it's a one-off. You can't say it's a guarantee of anything, but I always love the guys who don't hold out for their contracts, who go out and play and then are rewarded by good play.
You
and
love
good,
that?
Oh yeah,
Don't say that to me.
guys who don't hold out.
Oh,
guys who don't hold out. Yeah,
Okay. I was about to come through here and jump on you like a spider monkey, bro.
But there's a difference because the Bengals had to pay a QB, and the Vikings let theirs go.
Don't do this.
That's fair.
Unless you, Jeff.
But I mean, the Bengals knew what they had in Burrow. They knew what they had in Chase. Like, at a certain point, you got to be financially like forward thinking and know what you're going to do. But he does have a little bit more time left on his contract. But the struggles this year, like after holding out, are just, in my opinion, and it's not just personal against Jamar Chase, but it's just a bad look as a whole when you hold out for more money. Brandon Ayuk,
If we
right?
can go to any, let's go to CeeDee Lamb. Let's go to Brandon Ayuk. Let's go to Jamar Chase. If you hold out, guess what you've done so far?
Nothing.
Jack!
Yeah.
Jack! And I'm being very, very nice by saying that. LSU Jeff, your thoughts?
There's a lot of good wide receivers out there, and changes from year to year. And nobody talks about Deebo Samuel. Nobody talks about Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, because he's not playing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the wide receiver documentary on Netflix, LSU Jeff, but like it was interesting for me to see like between Kittle and Shanahan and even Purdy, like them talking about how integral Deebo was to that offense. I don't watch a ton of Niners games outside of when they're in prime time, but
the 48ers.
But they were so adamant, like how much he changed their offense and how poor they played last year when he was hurt, and as opposed to when he's in the game. And again, kind of like one of those guys who feels like he blew up there for a little bit, but kind of to your point, like nobody talks about him as much as they probably should with the importance he is in that offense.
Yeah. Well, the Niners are going to probably win this week, I hope.
How long have you been on the air with us today?
An hour.
An hour. Do you blame yourself for that, or do you blame me?
No, it's cool. You're a cool guy to hang out with. I hung out with you last year. Well, actually, earlier this year with the NFL draft.
I love this. This is a sounding endorsement.
Okay. So LSU. So you made it to the draft at St. Andy's this year, LSU Jeff?
Yeah. He was there actually.
Okay. I was there. I guess whatever it is.
Yeah, but you're a Georgia guy, and this guy's a actual football guy.
Wait, were you wearing a Falcons jersey?
Oh
no.
What
were you?
Thank God.
Was I wearing a Chiefs jersey?
I don't know.
I can't remember what I was
if
wearing.
you were. I don't think that you were though.
It was either.
Don't think so.
I don't know.
I will also say that I love America. Regardless of the accent, you think that you're here, and I do love America.
But if you're wearing a Falcons jersey, I probably just didn't want to talk to you.
I would have busted him in the mouth.
I would never wear. I mean, I'm not gonna say never wear a Falcons jersey, but
would he busted me back? Yeah, probably. But I think me and Tyler would be a good fight. He's a lot bigger than me, but I think we can get it going.
That'd be we still got to do the four of us for Shannon Sharp. Remember that was our pay-per-view fight we got to have.
Hey, Michelle. Oh, my Michelle. Oh, dog. Yeah, my Michelle. Oh, with that being said, LSU Jeff, we're appreciative of you being a part of the Afternoon Underdogs. Okay.
Cool.
He's like, I don't even know what to say here. With that being said, we are running out of time. We've only got a minute and like 43 seconds. I would say that if you had a problem with today's show, how about you text that to 850-215-6290, and let me tell you this. You better get a hold of the owner, because if not, you're going to get a hold of me, and I'm going to be like, you're a dumb man. 850-215-6290. Your best game on tap this week, Tyler Bishop.
It's going to be Tuscaloosa. I mean, that's, it's going to be.
Okay, all right, let's go beyond that, though. I don't want to spend too much time wasting our time on something that's going to be great.
Okay. Oklahoma, Auburn.
Ooh,
Jordan Hare, new starter for Oklahoma.
Really?
Coming off a big loss. I think
Really?
That's a team. That's a game both teams got to have. And I think both teams need to bring their A game. And what does their A game look like? It hadn't been great for either one of them yet. So let's find out.
850-215-6290. Will you hear David Hayes tomorrow? Honestly, the closer I get to tomorrow, no. But I live my life in 5-hour increments. And when you realize that, you'll realize just a little bit more about David Hayes. Oh, and guess what? If you have a problem with that, how about you bring that to my daggum face instead of telling other people? 850-215-6290. Just remember this. And I will always be a big proponent of this. Jesus loves you. So do I.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Talladega.
It's your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500, Sunday, October 6th. Step 1, listen to Coach Hale mornings at 7:15 and 8:15 for the keyword of the day. Step 2, text the keyword and your racing name to 850-215-6290. Step 3, listen to 1240 and 540. If we announce your name, race to the phones and call us back for your chance to win tickets to the Yellowwood 500 from your racing station.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Thursday. A variety of mostly clouds and light showers tonight with a wind around 24 miles per hour coming out of the west and a low of 73. Tomorrow morning, look for mostly sunshine with a temperature near 80. The afternoon and evening, a high around 82 and sunshine. Saturday, hot with a high of 85 and mostly sunshine. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
Tired of flipping through channels and finding nothing good? Introducing KHS TV. Over 5,000 live streaming channels, including all your local favorites and news networks. Plus, catch every game of the season with over 100 sports networks, including ESPN, the NFL Network, and the NBA Network. Just $40 a month. To get KHS TV, go to ESPNPC.com and click the TV logo.
WPLQ Port St. Joe, WGSX Lynn Haven, powered by Panama City Toyota.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
All them dogs are counting down, about to put the anchor down. Hotty toddy, who's it gonna be? Cowbells and swamp, the ag is wrong. There's nothing like the SEC. The weekend's full of surprises, from Williams-Brice to Death Valley. On the Fine Bomb Show, Paul's on a roll. If he don't get the best of me, call Paul. He'll make sense of it all. Neil's up on Rocky
good afternoon. Welcome in. We are ready to go here on a stormy Thursday throughout the South and a lot of places. We hope you are safe. Let's get going with some headlines before the guests start rolling in here. And it's all about the big game. The one in Titletown, Alabama. Different kind of edge on Kirby Smart's Dogs. That's been the conversation all week long. Meanwhile, Saban sat on the throne for years. Is Kirby ready for the crown? Stuart Mandel will join us later on to talk about that. And evolve or die. This is a story from Chris Lowe. Smart stepping out of Saban's shadow. Evolve or die. Sounds like a
James Bond movie.
It does sound like a scary movie from yesteryear. So, with all eyes on Tuscaloosa, we bring in the one and only Mike Griffith joining us. Mike, thank you very much. Always great to see you. So, everybody's voice has been heard. Let's hear yours on the big showdown.
Yeah, I don't know what more I can really add, Paul. I mean, it's pretty clear these are programs that are entering in, both hoping for the arrow to be pointed up, but only one can emerge that way. I think this could be an SEC championship play-in game. I mean, you know, when you look at the path that both of these teams have in front of them and the momentum, good or bad, that comes out of a game like this, you know, I expect to see the winner of this game in the SEC championship game and the loser out. Now, as far as playoff implications, there's 12 teams. You know, you can take that a lot of different ways, but, you know, two very different approaches. You know, Kalen DeBoer is wrapping his arms around the big game environment. He can't wait for President Trump and all these other people to be there, all these VIPs, and talking about how much excitement, what a great Saturday is going to be, and just how much confidence he exudes. I imagine the Alabama players probably have their touchdown dances down by now. But at Georgia, I can tell you, it has been lunch pail and hard hat every day. Stone faces, don't care that game day's there, not paying attention to the Nick Saban storyline. I mean, Georgia is feeling it. Backs against the wall. Kentucky pressed them hard on the road 2 weeks ago. These guys have to look in each other's eyes and wonder if they're the Georgia team that can get that win in Tuscaloosa that's been so elusive. I guess Matthew Stafford was the quarterback at Georgia last time that the Bulldogs won there.
Yeah, that was 2007 in overtime, and it was a considerably long time ago. So, Mike, of all the things that have been said this week, I mean, they are just endless, as you know. Is there any particular part of this game that you think is the most important?
Quarterbacks. I mean, I'm grasping at the obvious here, but, you know, all things being, look, both teams have fantastic playmakers. I mean, Ryan Williams, I heard he's only 17 years old. And of course, Trevor Etienne, look, he didn't come from Florida to lose it. He lost enough down there under Billy Napier and, you know, being relegated to second string when everybody knew he was the best Florida running back. And so he came up here to win a championship, and he helped carry Georgia that last win. He's hungry, right? But Carson Beck has to start playing like a first-round quarterback, and Jalen Milroe, you know, has to control his emotions and keep his plays positive where the right band is playing. So the question for me is, which quarterback is going to show more poise? Milroe could do so much with his feet. It's not just that bazooka arm and the deep passes. This is a guy that even when the play breaks down, he can hurt you. So you got to stop him for the 4-second on schedule play that's drawn up. And then you got another 4 seconds where Milroe has the ability to make something happen. Now, what's changed since last year? Georgia's linebackers have grown up a little bit. I don't think you're going to see a bust on 1st and 20 like you did last year from the Georgia 28 to give Alabama that touchdown. So it's going to be an interesting matchup of styles, of attitudes, and certainly a young first-year coach versus a 9-year veteran who's trying to stay on top of the SEC.
Talking to Mike Griffith here from Dog Nation. Mike, I want to get away from that game for a minute because there were some other things going on this week in the SEC. And yesterday, Lane Kiffin seemed to be beefing with Hugh Freeze.
I asked an innocent question. I had asked Coach Freeze about NIL, and he complimented Ole Miss and Missouri for the job they did. So when Coach Kiffin came on the SEC teleconference, I asked him an NIL question and said, by the way, Coach Freeze complimented your NIL management. And he proceeded to go off on some tangent about how Freeze is trying to steal his staff. I don't remember asking that question, but okay. Lane Kiffin, are the waters getting a little hot for Lane in Oxford? Is he maybe starting to feel a little pressure, Paul? He's supposed to win these games, and he actually has another team capable of running with his guys on the other side of the ball this week, a Kentucky defense that Georgia struggled with. Could Lane Kiffin be feeling a little pressure in Oxford?
Yeah, so I want to dig in on that, and I'm appreciative of you asking real questions other than, hey, Coach. You're on that call every week. I'm not.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. So what do you think is behind? I mean, this wasn't just playful Eli Drinkwitz banter. I mean, there was some real venom here. And listen, Mike, before you even answer, you know the backstory. These guys don't care for each other.
Well, why would they? Hugh Freeze coached there before Lane Kiffin, and Hugh took the job that Lane had told a lot of people he was going to take at Auburn before he backed out at the last minute. So, of course, there's animosity. I understand that, but what Lane Kiffin does so effectively is reads the room and goes with the wind. You want to talk about somebody that knows how to pile on? It's Lane Kiffin. And he knows that right now Hugh Freeze is not in a very good position publicly after the comments he made after the last game. So all that was Kiffin coming off the top rope, finding some arbitrary reason to pile on. If I'm an Auburn fan, I'd say, well, I'm glad he's trying to hire the Ole Miss coaches. They're doing a better job than the Auburn coaches. I'm glad he's trying to get players. I mean, what I find ironic about Coach Kiffin, and again, he's extremely entertaining and he has great value to the league, especially on X, or what was once known as Twitter. But he's one of the loudest critics against NIL and transfer rules, but like 4 of his players are transfers. So, I mean, Lane Kiffin you could make the argument, Paul, that no program and no coach has made more gains through the NIL than Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. Now, Missouri's making a good case after they survived Vanderbilt. Let's see how that story turns out. But you could make that argument that Lane Kiffin has been the biggest winner in the transfer portal.
So Michael, let me move on to the next story, which singularly is Hugh Freeze. He has had a rough week, losing, of course, to Arkansas, and then all the things he said leading into that game, and all the things he said leading out. Help us understand what's going on with this guy.
It's make or break this weekend, Paul. It's going to go kaboom if Coach Freeze's false bravado about beating Arkansas, what do you say, 9 times again if they played him. I mean, this is a guy that's bowing up. This is a guy that's going to double down. This is a guy that believes in his resume and his coaching and thinks he can pull this Auburn locker room together and use that Jordan-Hare Stadium crowd and seemingly the advantages they get in there. I don't know if anybody's had a better home field advantage than Auburn over the years, and read into that what you want. He's got to win this game. Brent Venables is playing with house money. Look, Oklahoma knows they have a fantastic coach, but they're behind in their collective, and they don't have the talent that they need to have to compete with. They know that. The Oklahoma people know that this is a transition year. But for Hugh Freeze, he's got to win this game. You can't lose at home to Oklahoma, staring down the barrel of a trip to Georgia next week. This is a must-win for Auburn. Freeze is another guy backed into a corner, doubling down. The stakes are higher than ever in this league. I mean, this is a Shark Tank, Paul. Everywhere you turn, somebody's nipping at your heels.
And not only that, his former quarterback, Bo Wallace, went after him. I mean, just buried him. Said he wouldn't let his own son play for him. Cam Newton. I don't recommend Cam Newton's podcast, by the way. I mean, I'm not faint of heart, but man, I got an edge. I was playing it in the studio the other day, and even Randy turned white from all the cursing. I mean, Cam's got one phrase. It's 2 words that go together, and man, he loves to use that phrase. I mean.
Hey.
But so my point, and then Freeze tries to walk it back, saying, I love Bo.